I have a good one for you guys today. The new sensation in town, the 2023 Arnold Classic champion Samson Dauda against none other than the king, Ronnie Coleman. For Ronnie, I went with his first Mr. Olympia winning physique from 1998, one of his greatest performances, but when he was still human from a size point of view. Now, I know it, you know it, everybody knows who's going to win this comparison, but I thought you guys would enjoy to see it, especially because I have a feeling Samson will hold his own against the GOAT. As for the sizing, I'm pretty sure there will be people claiming I made Ronnie too big or too small compared to Samson. Ronnie's footage sample keeps zooming in and out, and even though I try to recalibrate it every time, there's always room for mistake. Also, Samson's footage is taken from an angle below the stage, which makes him look shorter. Ronnie's footage is also of a lower quality. This was 1998 after all. You also have to keep in mind their posing styles. Ronnie tends to stand up tall, keeping his legs more straight than today's bodybuilders, so this aspect will make him look taller in some poses. There are all kinds of details, this would never be perfect, you get the idea. Let's get to the analysis now. Front double biceps, and Ronnie had a great aesthetic structure back in 1998, as we can see here. His waist is almost as tight as Samson's. They both have a split between their abs, but Samson does a good job with that vacuum. Conditioning is difficult to judge here because of Ronnie's poor quality video, but in spite of that, the details are noticeable in his guns, obliques and lower body, which indicate that he's probably drier than Samson, but Samson is fuller, we have to give him that. If we were to ignore the guns, this pose could go either way, maybe even Samson having a slight advantage because of the midsection, but those guns of Ronnie are a tiebreaker. Not only his peaky biceps, but the details, the separation in those guns are second to none. I have seen bigger biceps than his, but taking all into consideration, I don't think anyone could beat Ronnie when it comes to the guns in this pose. My point goes to Ronnie Coleman in the front double biceps. Front lat spread, and Ronnie always had the potential to have maybe the greatest front lat spread ever, but he never knew how to hit this pose properly, at least in my opinion. When you look at still pictures, he looks better, but in video footage we can see that he never locks in this pose and it doesn't look quite good. He also should have opened his lats more, the way Samson is doing here. Moreover, his straight leg stance in this pose does not fit him in my opinion. So I'm going to put it like this: Ronnie certainly has the better tools for this pose, but Samson does a better job with his inferior tools. So my point goes to Samson Dauda in the front lat spread. Side chest pose, and there are few bodybuilders who can challenge Ronnie in this one. He has probably the best side chest in history, and I'll tell you why. Some bodybuilders have the fullness, others have the details and striations, but Ronnie has them both. Just look at his striated shoulders and chest, in spite of the footage quality. Outstanding. Samson looks round and full in this pose, but the king gets the pose, no doubt. Back double biceps, and looking at the lower body and especially at the glute department, it seems like now Ronnie's footage has more pixels, right? Now, Samson has a pretty impressive back double biceps pose, but here on the left we probably have the best overall back double biceps of all time. Just look at that back, the insertions, the details, look at those peaky biceps again. Ronnie Coleman easy win. Back lat spread, and look at that back of Ronnie. It's like he opens a huge umbrella when he spreads those wings. It's simply amazing. Ronnie easily wins the back poses, and I don't think anyone expected anything different, correct? Ronnie usually loses the side triceps, and don't worry, I'm not saying he's winning here, but judging by the detailed separation and striations in his triceps, which are noticeable even in this low quality footage, if he would have done a better job with the execution, I think he could have beaten Samson here. Samson has the thicker triceps, but it looks soft in comparison. The deal breaker is the execution again, in my opinion. If Ronnie was a better poser, at least here in 1998, he would have been dangerous in the side triceps as well, but as it is, Samson wins this pose now. Abs and thighs, and again, usually Ronnie falls short in this pose because of the midsection blah blah, but here in 1998 his waist was pretty tight, his weird looking abs are also holding him down usually, but Samson has a split too, so there's that. My idea is that considering Ronnie's thighs and his small waist in 1998, if again he would have posed better, he could have challenged Samson in this pose, but judging by what we have here and what we see here, Samson wins the pose. Most muscular pose, and this is what we have from this piece of footage of Ronnie. Can't make a definitive idea, but if we add this picture instead, we can see that Ronnie is miles away from any point of view of this pose. No doubt Ronnie is winning it. So in the end, of course that Ronnie won, but Samson did great. I gave Samson 3 poses out of 8, but we have to admit that he only won those poses because Ronnie was not a great poser. At least for the front lat spread. Let's just say that side triceps and abs and thighs are Samson's, but Ronnie always loses those poses, so yes, not too many surprises in this comparison. Let's make sure we get 1000 likes for this video to unlock Andrew Jacked versus Ronnie Coleman next. I have a feeling Andrew gets Ronnie in some of his power poses, so make sure you like the video if you want to see that. Subscribe so you won't miss my new updates. See you soon, guys.